Here we are, patch 10.4 notes, a little bit late. Let's see what Shoy Shouju has for us today. Hello to everyone except those who aren't my friend. Before we dive into the patch notes, a quick PSA. Patch 10.4 will not be going live until February 20th. Hey, we just waited a while until it went live, due to the holidays. In this patch, we're breaking top Sona and Rocka since they're grossly overpowered in lane. Additionally, we're making larger changes to the jungle champion pool and giving some traditionally non-jungle champions better tools to do so if they want. This way, we're diversifying the arguably small champion pool for veteran and new players. And finally, we're making Aphelios a little easier to understand, not just for the person playing him, but for his opponents too. Take this portal if you're looking for the TFT patch notes. Anna Shoy Shouju Woo. So I had a look at these earlier. These are the hot fixes, which they've generously put at the top of the page. I guess if you had already read the notes, it would make sense. But for me, it's a little annoying. Tom Kench, he had some bug with Devour. Poppy had some bug with Tiamat. All of these are little bugs. Then they nerfed Sona a little bit extra. They took off base 4 damage. 4 damage off of her base attack. And then her growth is down by 1. And the E, from 20% plus... plus 3 per 100 ability power, so 3%. This has been switched to 10, growing to 14. Wow, that is annoying for her. Soraka got some nerfs as well, but these are to rebalance her into support. They're making her her heal on a shorter cooldown so that it incentivizes playing her as a support more. Remember when they said they wanted Soraka to be the premier healer of bot lane? I guess that really didn't work out that great. And then they changed this. This is why it's a little strange looking at this, because we haven't read the notes yet, but Bammy Cinder got a new passive on it that did percent max health, or percent bonus health damage. It's been taken from 2% to 1%. And then when you Cinder Hulk pulse damage, you get a pulse damage when they get CC'd or something. That's why they should just have this at the bottom. It doesn't make sense for it to be at the top. Anyway, Bammy Cinder has new passives on it that make it do extra damage based on bonus health. Victor, Gravity Field, blah blah blah, Trundle, Bammy Cinder Bug, blah blah blah. Nerfed overall. Did they less JPEG this? I think it looks less JPEG'd, but it's still pretty, like... Come on, guys, we live in the 21st century. We could have this look a little bit nicer, I think, less compressed. Amumu buff, Caitlyn buff, Darius buff, Diana buff, Garen buff, Nard buff. Jayce needed this buff. I think that Gnar needed it, and Garen probably a little bit too. Lux, sure. I think that they're just messing with Lux to make it so she can reposition mid-alt. But they were asking on Twitter what changes Lux players would like to see to make her a little bit better. Lux is pretty annoying, but she's a character that you can deal with, in my opinion. Like, if you jump on top of her, most Luxes don't even build Zonias. They just fucking go pure damage, so you should be able to kill her. This guy needed a nerf, not a buff. Rammus, whatever. Sylas needed a nerf, not a buff. Talon, sure. Udyr, definitely. I was laughing because when Set came out, he gets like a 15% bonus move speed towards champions. Udyr gets like a 2% move speed on his E at level 1. It scales up to like 10% or something, but Set at level 1 gets way faster move speed towards champions than Udyr. A little bit of a Zed buff. They were asking all the pros what characters they'd buff and nerf, and they said buff Zed. Aurelion Soul, Aphelios singed a little nerf, and then these are the two. They were causing some trouble in the top lane. Amumu dash speed is now faster, and Curse of the Sad Mummy is down by 20 at rank 1, down by 15, scaling down to just 10. Well, that's fine, though. An extra 20 seconds off of the cooldown at rank 1 makes him better mid-game, so good for that. Aphelios. Now, this character is a fucking nightmare. I do want to hear what they have to say. Aphelios is the galaxy brain marksman whose kit has a billion things you have to learn. But he's stressing out opponents who can't understand what he's doing and seems to be lacking adequate counterplay at higher ranked games. Yeah. Better clarity will lead to a drop in Aphelios' performance since opponents will more frequently have the correct decisions. And we also threw some raw nerfs with a focus on making sure opponents have successful ways to catch him and beat him up. Good. Players can now see both guns Aphelios is holding and his health bar. Good. Calibrum basic attack auto reset. Aphelios no longer resets his auto attack timer right after consuming a mark. I did notice that, and it felt really good to use. So that's too bad. Man, auto attack resets are so good. Auto attack resets are the fucking best. Crescendum, number of sentry attacks 4 to 3. I don't really know how this one works. The Chakrams is most wacky of them all. And the range has been decreased. They decreased this from, I think it was 1800, now it's 1600, and now it's 1300. So we'll see. Maybe it'll get 10 next time. I still have this guy permabanned. I'm thinking of permabanning Kled. Kled seems like he's a bigger problem when he gets going than Aphelios, but Aphelios is pretty whack too. They're definitely right that most people don't know what he can even do. And there are a lot of people that don't own every character in the game. What you do when you don't know what a character does and you can't understand them, you're like, what the fuck? You go into practice tool, rank them up to level 18, and then use all of their abilities, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. After like 3 games of Aphelios, you know exactly what his shit does, but he kind of plays himself. It's like, oh, he's the galaxy brain marksman. Well, you get 2 guns. I guess you have a decision to make, but most characters have 4 abilities. Some of them more than that, and you have to weave them together, so we'll see. Aurelian Soul, increased total damage by 50% to 40% on the W. This character, I think, is, like, if you're really good at him, sure, maybe he's good, but everybody in the mid lane that's really good. Let's have a look at every mid lane character that's incredibly good. Assassin, 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 and then we finally make it out of the assassin zone. So, odds are if you're playing Aphelios, or if you're playing Aurelian Soul, you're going to be against Yasuo, Talon, Diana, Fizz, Kiana, LeBlanc, Zed, Zoe, Kassadin. These are all really bad fucking matchups for him, right? Let's look at him. This is after the nerf, so he's still at a 54%. Here's all of his fucking matchups. Oh, he actually kicks Yasuo's ass, I guess. But he does lose to LeBlanc. He goes even with Zed. He beats Katarina. Huh, that's surprising to me. Sylas beats him. He beats Talon. Is he anti-assassin? What? No. What? I thought this guy got owned by all assassins. To me, it looks like he's beating them all. Except for Ahri. Ahri's kicking his ass. Okay, whatever. I don't know a thing about Aurelian Sol. He's a weird character. So, you know, they decided to take 10% damage off of him. I never see him anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. Great. Yeah, he's pretty much RIP. He'll get the RIP status soon. Bonus attack speed 10% to 20% at level 1, sure. One of the problems with bot lane, I talk about this pretty often too. One of my problems with bot lane is that there's really no incredibly weak characters at level 1. Like, Vayne level 1 used to be super punished, right? Like, if you picked Vayne, you were either not going to be allowed to farm against Lucian, Caitlyn, or who else? There were some other characters that Vayne could not lane into, like you were actively just surrendering the lane. Now you go even against basically everyone. Vayne has a fine early game. Like, she's still weaker than a lot of characters, but you can farm if it's not a... Mostly it's like supports now. If you're against a Zyra or a Xerath or a Brand, you're gonna have a much worse time. But if it's like Caitlyn, Taric, Caitlyn... Who else? You can even dodge Karma, but Karma pokes too. I guess most supports are poke now, but back in the day, Vayne used to have like terrible matchups, and giving a character, I think it should have been Draven, but I'm a Draven fucking fanboy. I think they should shuffle some extra damage into Draven's early game, which would increase his win rate by a lot, because he's a super snowballer, but I think that there should be really, really good matchups for Draven and Caitlyn as like early game punishes. Garen, 0.4 attack damage to, so this is an extra 10%. Courage, blah blah blah. At max resistances from enemy kills, Garen increases his bonus armor and magic resist by 10%. Sure. I don't really know what that means, but sure. Our goal is to bring back build diversity for Garen, specifically buffing his tankier builds while keeping his damage-oriented builds still viable. You're just buffing both. You're just buffing both. I don't know how this is shuffling him. Makes him slightly more tanky? Sure, whatever. Oh, it goes flat now, plus bonus health. Ah! So his W is going to be a bigger pain in the ass for a lot of people. That's good. I'm fine with that. Base movement speed up by 10 on Gnar. That's really good. Bonus movement speed. 0 to 20. Sure. Mini Gnar, blah, blah, blah. Damage ratio. Whoa! Look at that. So it's 30% attack damage up and 50% ability power up. So this is going to do way more damage. That's cool. Ours is going to be making some plays. Because he's already not bad. And he has really good matchups into some people. Where are you, Gnar? We don't have a graph. He has no graph. I want to see his win rate over the patch. Jayce needed a little bit of love. There's so many characters that are... Jayce should now be able to cast more abilities to fend off his opponents. Jayce is a lane bully, and it seems like he got bullied out of lane by, like, everybody. Once all the tank meta started, Jayce got, like, crushed super hard. And I like Jayce. Jayce is a cool character. Base damage up by 10 at all ranks. Damage ratio down by 10%. Okay, so the flat's up. Cooldown has been reduced early by 2 seconds, scaling down to the exact same. At level 2 here, it's only 1.5, so fine. Final Spark. Lux can now flash while casting Final Spark. Her ultimate won't follow her when she flashes. Okay, so you're not CC'd. That means that you can cast, and then during the animation, you can flash out of the way when everybody fucking dives on you. Whatever. Here, we'll see how it goes. Just round it up, man. Just give them 6.6. They're gonna... The next patch, they're gonna say, oh yeah, we realize that we don't like having characters with triple floating point numbers. We like it better when they're like this. 580, not 580.656. Like, those little tweaks, I'm sure, do make a difference in the back end. Like, maybe they decided that 0.66 was too much for Rammus. Whatever. They're messing with Singe's base stuff. 3 armor is pretty significant. And 30 health. 3 armor and 30 health? Damn, that's harsh. Whatever. Sona, I don't play her top anyways. Hey, Shoy showed you. Love it. Love the comedy brought in here. Sona now gains 30 mana the first time she tags an ally with her aura. Okay. So that means you gotta be close to somebody. You gotta be close to somebody. And you gotta be close to somebody. Okay. So they said, okay, well, you can play your top still. You're just gonna be fucking mana starved because it costs you extra mana to cast everything, and the values are way up. So if you're beside somebody, it's the same, but whatever. Soraka rebalanced, making her W better. While Soraka has rejuvenated, the 10% maximum health cost for casting Astral Infusion will be reduced by 40, 50, 70. I don't know what rejuvenated is. Does that mean full HP? I don't know. Base move speed. Nerfed by 15% max rank, 5% early. Wow. Sorry, Soraka mains. Base damage for the Q Lash up by 20 at max, scaling upward just by 5 at each rank, whatever. And level 1, it's the same. I've been owned by so many Sylases recently. I think that I'm overestimating him, but sometimes this character just never fucking dies. It's crazy. Udyr. Passive. Monkey's Agility. Udyr now gets 5% off his global cooldown. Okay. Per Cloud Drake buff. So he doesn't get anything. Udyr currently doesn't benefit at all from Cloud Drake. I thought that they would have given him more than this. Whatever. Jungle champions. Increased damage to increased damage to jungle champions on all of these guys. Gnar, 300 at all levels. That's nice. Yeah. I feel like Jungle Gnar could be pretty good. Jungle Talon could be pretty good. Of course, Diana didn't need this. Diana did not need a buff in the jungle. She was already fucking ridiculous. Follow-ups, blah, blah, blah. Fixing this, prowling projectile, whatever. Duration of 3 seconds. Oh my god, finally! I've been talking about this forever. Exhaust is like so underpowered compared to Ignite. It's just bad. In lane, at least, like, there are some matchups where you want it, but fuck. Most of the time when your support brings Exhaust, you're like, well, I hope that they have Exhaust because we're gonna lose every fight. It's on a longer cooldown and does less. So I hope that we do something with it. Hail of Blades got buffed, so that's why that. I had a jungle Gnar that had Hail of Blades, and I was wondering what was going on. Legend runes, blah blah blah. Alacrity, tenacity, and bloodline minions kills per stack. 20 to 25, so they're nerfing this. Perfect timing. No longer additionally reduces the cooldown of Guardian Angel, Gargoyle, Stolen Plate, and Zhonya's by 15%. Sure. I was skipping over some of the stuff because I wanted to get this over with. Holy shit, this patch is actually humongous. They didn't specify that at the beginning. Like, this is one of the biggest patches that they've done since preseason. Pretty serious rebalancing of, like, all sorts of things. Holy shit. Perfect timing. Our timer is running out. Grants a replica stopwatch. Commencing stopwatch that becomes a replica stopwatch at 14 minutes. I don't know what that means. Currently, a lot of players are taking perfect timing since it builds into core items on so many different types of champions. Mages, Zhonya's 80 champions, Guardian Angel, and tanks, Gargoyle Stoneplate. I did not know that Gargoyle Stoneplate had one of these. Don't get us wrong, we are happy to see it, but there's much more satisfaction as a player and a spectator when it's used aggressively rather than defensively. What do you mean? How do you use... Oh my god, he aggressively stopwatched! Oh my god! I don't know what this means. 10 minutes? Takedowns reduce the timer by 2 minutes. Okay, so your stopwatch is not reliably at 10 minutes. Can it go below 10? So if you get 3 kills, 6 minutes off of 14, can you get it at 8 minutes? I don't know. And does that mean that if you kill someone, it reduces the timer by 2 minutes and then you get it halfway through the fight and then you can cast it again? That's kind of neat, but still really dumb. Whatever. Stopwatch is now worth 50 more gold. No longer additionally reduces the cooldown of Guardian Angel, a Gargoyle Stone Plant, and Zonya's Hourglass by 15%. Whatever. Phase Rush. Attempting to broaden the rune. Maximum time between attacks from 3 to 4 seconds. That's actually really good. Movement speed from 25 to 40. 25 to 40. Increased by 30 to 30 to 50 for melee champions. Okay. Who is this good on then? Who would you take Phase Rush on that's a melee champion? Just Echo? Echo, maybe Diana, but Conqueror is too good. Who else would you take this on? Nobody. There aren't a lot of characters that use this nicely anymore. Like this buff alone, the additional 1 second between attacks is really nice. But that extra bonus from 25 to 40, 30 to 50, I don't know who's going to take advantage of that as a melee champion. Prototype Omni Stone. These keystones are really hard to trigger at level 1. Luck of the Draw. No longer give the player press the attack or conqueror as the first rune. I don't know anyone that uses this shit. No character in the game uses this. I think you just want reliable stuff. Unflinching. Now properly grants 10% slower distance per summoner spell. Oh, so this was just fucking broken. This is the new thing. Once every 10 seconds, your next immobilizing ability deals 66 to 23 plus 2% bonus health. Increased Fire Nova that also deals the bonus damage around you. And this has been reduced to 1 instead of 2. But they didn't put that in the notes. Cinder Hulk once every 10, blah blah blah. So once it's leveled up, this also got nerfed by 1%. So this is not 5, this is 4. But yeah. Cool. There are enough characters that already like building Sunfire Cape. I don't know why we need to buff them. Like Ornn especially. Ornn loves Sunfire Cape. Let's just give that character even more power. Good plan. Low resistance, blah blah blah. Login region selector. Riot accounts. Something crash reports. We have a new crash handling system going live this patch that will automatically collect crash data and help diagnose issues. Crash reports help us improve the game because it alerts us when something goes wrong. You can opt out of automatic crash reports by clicking the gear icon. Bug fixes. Okay, so those patch notes were fucking huge! I guess we'll see how they go. I really hope that more people aren't playing weird off-meta junglers. Like, one of the reasons why Darius is a bad jungler isn't because his clear is so bad, it's because his kit is not good as a jungler. Like, what does a jungler care about? They want to get in, do damage, or enter, CC. And what does Darius have? He'll walk at them. If you don't have Flash as Darius, like, at least jungle Riven, who they should have buffed, in my opinion, over jungle fucking Darius. If you want more junglers in the game, make Riven more of a jungler. Maybe they're afraid of her. Maybe they're afraid of the little Riven. Riven at least has gap closers with all of her, with her E and her Q. Darius doesn't have that. So if you don't have Flash, or you probably build mobility boots on him first to try and like actually make it towards people. Predator, I guess, is also a reason why you can play him. But wouldn't you rather just, like, have Nunu on your team? Or Hecarim? Or Jarvan? I think Jarvan is way better. Oh, the champion pool's too small! Oh yeah? The champion pool's too small? Let's have a look at what the meta fucking junglers are. How many do we have on the list? 24. How about on mid lane? 54. Bottom. Oh no, only 25! Support. Oh no, only 31. Top lane, only 50. So jungle is now the third largest pool, which is a lot of characters. And they don't even track Twitch, who is also a jungler. Yeah. I don't know. You guys do whatever you want with this. They need to nerf Ornn. This character's fucking ridiculous. And then same with Led. This character's also pretty not so banana crazy.